For darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the peoples. But the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory will appear over you. Today we celebrate Epiphany, and the word Epiphany simply means an appearance or a manifestation, particularly of a deity, unfolding. Our celebration of the Epiphany today shows the Magi making their way to the newborn Jesus and his family. Now, there was no GPS or Google Maps in these days, but the Magi trusted in celestial navigation. They gazed up on a shining star, and they knew that something was amiss, and they followed that star. Jesus was sent to be a light in a dark world. The story is comforting, but we must remember Isaiah's words, that darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the people. The darkness which Isaiah speaks of, that spreads over the world, is the smoldering human rubble that we find in our world today. In so many countries, in so many places, there's so much trouble. T.S. Eliot, the American-born British poet, wrote a poem called The Journey of the Magi. And in it, he imagines the darkness which the Magi observed on their journey. He wrote, "A cold coming we had of it, just the worst time of the year for a journey, and such a journey. And the cities hostile, and the towns unfriendly, and the villages dirty, and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it." Now, the darkness that Eliot imagines is not a lot different from the darkness that we hear in any news report today. Countries at war, lack of affordable housing, price gouging, a number of viruses stressing our medical systems and medical people, and the distribution of medications slow and inconsistent because of shortages in the supply system. But for the Magi in the story this morning, there's an even deeper darkness to come. On this Epiphany Sunday, we hear a classic story about innocence in the midst of evil, and about how that innocence is betrayed by those who should have cared. The Christmas story begins by referring to the fact that a guiltless, innocent baby was born in Bethlehem. Angels herald the birth with song. Shepherds come from far and near to pay him homage. A star pulls Magi from faraway lands to come and see. A beautiful, humble scene that should bring great joy to all created beings. But our story contains another reaction as well: jealousy and loss of power. Herod feels spasms of this when the Magi ask their simple question, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising." The question revealed a stunning fact. There is to be a new king. And Herod, like the Magi, should have been filled with joy at the news. But no, instead we hear he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. But we also hear that he was cunning. He was cunning. He does not show his distress to the Magi, but instead he hatches a plan. Now, Herod was never interested in the people under his rule. Never was. Never cared about them. But he seeks information. So he calls the Jewish chief priests together and demands to know where the Messiah is supposed to be born. In Bethlehem of Judea, they answer. God promised that a ruler would come from there who was to shepherd his people, Israel. So Herod acts quickly. He goes back to the Magi and succors them with a story to go and find the child and bring him word so that he too may go and pay homage. Of course, Herod is lying through his teeth. All he wants to do is to get rid of the competition. Magi travel on to Bethlehem, give Jesus their gifts, and return home by a different route as told to them by an angel in the dream. But this is a rich story with a powerful challenge. What is our own reaction to new life? we ask ourselves this question: is it a reaction of fear of threat? Is it a reaction of acceptance? Can we, like the wise men, lay our gifts at the feet of the young and move toward anonymity and eventual death, content that the world is in good hands, even though they're not our own hands? Or, like Herod, can we feel that the new life is a threat and try to somehow kill it or get rid of it in some way, lest its star diminish our own? Think about that. To bless another person is to give away some of one's own life so that the other might be better prepared for his or her journey. Good parents do that for their children. Good teachers do it for their students. Good pastors do it for their congregation, for their parishioners. Good politicians for their countries. And good elders do it for the young. They give away and sometimes sacrifice their own lives to enable and empower the other. The wise men did that for Jesus, and we can learn a lesson from the wise men today. But why do the readings talk so much about dark night on this Epiphany? Well, it's a complicated question, but I suggest there is one possible answer, and it's because God's light only comes to us thoroughly mingled with the dark, grubby reality of humanity, of human life. Why else did Jesus come as an infant? Jesus did not come to take away our troubles, but to join us in them, to be a quiet light in our darkness, not a blinding replacement for the dark. So we have to be like the Magi. We have to do our own puzzling. We have to do our own thinking. We have to do our own searching. We have to spend our own sleepless nights and never rest until we see the light as God chose to reveal it to us. The light that shone on the Magi shines on us. In these days, the light of our faith may seem fragile, but like innocence in the midst of evil, one candle can bring light in a dark room. One flame can set the world on fire. Sharing the light of Christ's love does not diminish it. Instead, it grows in strength as it is shared. As Isaiah proclaims, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you." It is up to us to keep that light shining brightly in our lives and in our grubby world. May each one of us find the Lord and Savior on our journey, and may we pay homage to him by bringing the light of Christ to those we meet through the witness of our lives, and by not being concerned about what's in it for us.